Good morning, May.
Good morning.
It's a big morning for you.
Yeah.
What's happening today?
I'm going to school
You're starting school
in London.
in London. Are you excited?
Yeah.
And what are you most excited for?
I'm most excited for making new friends.
Making new friends. That's lovely. Are you excited for homework? That's fine. Did you brush your teeth this morning?
No.
Then you better go do that quickly before we leave. Go, go, go. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a few busy weeks, but this week we are back to our London information videos. So we are kicking it off with the school application process, and as you might already know, I've got a 7-year-old turning 8 in August, and I've got a 2-year-old as well. So school application was high on our priority list the minute we got here. Keeping our kids happy, making sure that they were adjusting well was obviously something that was really important to us. And if you haven't already watched my video, I have done a video on how we prepared our kids for this overseas move. Of course, kids don't really have a choice or a say, and you try to keep them as involved as possible. But when you're going through a big move like this can come with a lot of emotions as well. So as I mentioned before, we have a 7-year-old, and she was already in school in South Africa. The school year in South Africa runs from January to December, and the school year in London or in the UK actually starts from September. So she had just completed grade 1 in South Africa, and we were moving over in January, which meant that she was going to be entering the school year basically halfway through. Okay, so let's take it back. How did we decide in the school? What were some of the factors that we considered? So once we found out we were going to be moving to the UK, of course, we started to do some research. We came across some really interesting information and really helpful websites. The most helpful has got to be the UK government website. It's just got all the information that you will need. So when it comes to kids from overseas, as long as you have a right to live in England, you can apply for a state school place here. And then we came across something called the Ofsted rating. Now, the Ofsted is actually a body, and it stands for the Office of Standards in Education. It's a body that actually inspects schools, and all schools here will undergo an inspection and be rated by this body. So they're graded from 1 to 4, with 1 being outstanding, 2 being good, 3 being requiring improvement, and 4 being inadequate. This rating became a building block for us finding the perfect school. So this became one of the important factors in how we actually chose the area that we live in. If you have a look through my previous videos, I've done a video on how we selected the area that we currently live in, and one of the important criteria was the availability of good schools with a good Ofsted rating. So when we were looking at rentals, and we used a website where you could actually see how far the schools were and what schools were in the area, we actually looked at the ratings of each of these schools as well. And we settled on our area because we were happy with the choices of the state schools that were in and around the area that we could apply for a place at. So as I mentioned, we had to do an in-year application, and everything needs to be done through the borough or the council of the area that you're living in. There are certain priorities when places are offered at a school, and one of them is the proximity. So we wanted to make sure we were as close as possible to our favorite school. How did we even have favorites? Like, how did we decide that we love the schools? Obviously, while you're here, you can go out and visit schools, but we were in another country. So I had to go by websites. I went into all the websites, I looked at their ethos, I looked at the galleries, I looked at some of the activities they did, the projects. Every school website tries to sell themselves, so it was basically all marketing techniques, but I was looking at which website spoke to me the most. On the websites, we also found an application process, and that led us back to the government website and to our council website, where we could actually go through the application process. So you might be able to contact the school and find out if there is space, but the best thing to actually do is to go through your council. So when I went into the website, there was a lot of information. I wasn't really sure exactly which form I was supposed to be looking at. Now I know that it was actually the in-year application, but at that point I thought I'd just drop an email to Pupil Services. So I dropped them an email and they directly sent me the link to the form for the in-year application, which I thought they were really quick, they were really efficient and really helpful. So they sent that on to me and they basically ran me through the process, and I did also have a line of contact if I felt uncertain about anything as well. So one of the things that the form asked for was the child's permanent address, and we hadn't yet secured our rental when I started looking at this whole process. So we put it on hold until we got our rental agreement and we actually had an address. And then it was pretty much time for us to leave, and a lot was happening. We were packing, moving, all over the place. We kept meaning to do it, and I actually didn't end up doing it until we arrived here in the UK. I started to get like a little bit panicky, and I thought, oh my word, like I've left it too late. And I wasn't sure how efficient the system actually was. So I sort of wasn't sure how long should I wait for a response, when should I follow up. But now looking back, it was actually towards the end of the term, so they weren't actually really stressed about it because they thought that she might want to actually start in the new term. Anyway, I did call, so I called them and I said, I've sent this application, I haven't heard back yet. I just wanted to follow up, and things happened really quickly after. So a week later, I think, so it was Monday that I originally sent the forms. The following Monday that I had contacted them, Monday afternoon that they had gotten into contact with me to say that there was a place and the school will make a formal offer. And then the school contacted me on Tuesday morning, and then we had already set up to go and see and meet with them that afternoon. So one of the criteria, or one of the things they might ask you before you accept the place, is that you come in to meet with them. So we had basically, in theory, already accepted the place, and we said we would go to meet with the school. So we went off that Tuesday afternoon, and then it was basically, there was just 3 days left. So it was just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they were going to close for a week. But Maya was just so excited to get back to school and to start school, and I wanted her to start as soon as possible, obviously because she's had such a break, and she was starting in the middle of the school year here. So I wanted her to start as soon as possible. So they gave us the option. They said, okay, so when do you want to start? Do you want to start tomorrow? And Maya was like, yes, I want to start tomorrow. And I'm like, but I don't have uniforms, I don't have anything. And they said, don't worry, we'll give you a quick starter pack. They basically gave me a little pile. For that first week I had uniforms, and they said all you need to do is you need to just come and just bring her, and her water bottle. So she didn't even need a bag. They supplied everything. Everything would be sorted out at school. So we got a quick startup. So now my mind's going crazy. I'm like, oh my word, she's starting school tomorrow. I've got so much to do, So it was so cute to sort of like put on her uniform. She was so excited to go to school. And another great thing that happened when we went to visit the school that Tuesday, and when I think about it, we literally just got it with the skin of our teeth. We were chatting to the admissions lady, and then she looked over at my youngest and she said, how old is she? And I said, she's turning 3 in June. So she said, well, you should apply for nursery because our applications close tonight for nursery, and because she is a sibling, she's got a sibling in the school, she actually gets priority and she'll get placed in nursery. So in England, one of the other things that is really nice and state funded is 3 to 4 year olds qualify for 15 hours of free childcare a week. So the school that our eldest goes to actually does have a nursery on site, so we could actually apply for a place at this nursery for her to qualify for those 15 free childcare hours. We also then have the option of topping up those hours so that she would actually go for a full week and she would do the same hours as her sister. And what that means for me is that from September, I will be able to drop them both off at the same time and pick them both up at the same time. So that's another thing that I must mention. I am absolutely loving the late start times here in the UK. So schools will open anything from 8:30 to 9:30. They actually stagger it to stagger traffic in and out of the area. I have to drop Maya off at school at 8:45 in the morning, so that's 8:45 in the morning, and I love it because we don't have to wake up super early. So we generally, in South Africa, we actually had a 7:30 start time at school, and I get it with the sunrises and sunsets and making the most of your day. But I am absolutely loving it because we can just wake up at 7 o'clock and we still get to school on time. I hope that you found this helpful, and if you are currently in the process, I am holding thumbs and crossing fingers that you find the absolute perfect school for your little one. So of course, today we covered the in-year application process, but childcare and early childcare is a topic on its own, and I'm going to be covering that as well in a future video. But if there's anything else you'd like me to discuss, please do drop a comment in the comment section. I'm also going to add all the links that I've spoken about and the websites that we found handy in the description box as well. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time.